Hi. There's a lot of stuff to worry about at the moment, isn't there? With lockdown measures increasing, and along with that, the increased threat of job losses. And I know some people have already lost their jobs in our congregation. And I know others are really worried for their businesses, for their jobs, maybe for family members. There's all sorts of worries. There's all the Brexit stuff coming up, and who knows what's going to happen with that, and the worries that people have associated with that. There's the worries of being on our own for yet longer time. And as I've said before in different contexts, worrying is something which I seem to be rather good at. I'm not proud of that fact, but it is something I seem to do pretty well. There's a well-known bit in Luke's Gospel where Jesus talks about worry. And Jesus says, "Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat, about your body, what you will wear. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothes. Consider the ravens, they do not reap, they have no storeroom or barn, yet God feeds them. And how much more valuable are you than birds? Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? Since you cannot do this very little thing, why do you worry about the rest? Consider how the wild flowers grow. They do not labour or spin, yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendour was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, how much more will he clothe you, you of little faith? And do not set your heart on what you'll eat or drink. Do not worry about it, for the pagan world runs after such things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek his kingdom, and these things will be given you as well." Jesus clearly says, don't worry. He says, look at creation, look at how I care for them, look at how I provide for them. And you're even more important to me than they are. And so therefore, I'm going to care for you even more, God says. Now, that's all very well, isn't it? It's easy to read those words. It's easy to, in our minds, to know the truth. But it's more difficult to actually live it out. Where maybe we own a company and we've got people in our company who we just can't work out if we're going to be able to afford to pay their wages, or whether we're going to have to let them go. Or maybe you're working in a company and that company is struggling to survive and they're saying, well, we're going to have to let some of you guys go. Or maybe it's just all the interest rates are going down, and so then your savings aren't giving you as much income as you were getting, or your pension or whatever it is. And so it's very easy, isn't it, to turn to worry. But when we worry, it means we're not trusting God. And maybe in this difficult time, maybe it can be used by God to help us to trust him more. You know, that'd be a brilliant thing, wouldn't it? To grow to trust God more. When push comes to shove and when things get difficult, it forces us, one way or the other, it forces us to think about what we believe and where we put our trust. And Jesus says, look, put your trust in me, because I will look after you. In fact, he says, look, what you need to do is you need to seek first God's kingdom. You know, well-known verse that, isn't it? Seek his kingdom and these things will be given you as well. We're to put God first, and living for God first Now, what does that mean? Well, maybe it means that in these days when it's easy to sort of switch on and watch something online, but equally it's easy to get up on a Sunday morning and go, oh, I'll watch the service later, and then you just forget about it. It's easy to just push God to one side, isn't it? To let the worries of this life overwhelm us. Whether those worries are to do with our work or our business, whether work overwhelms us because we're working from home and therefore we can find ourselves working even more, whether it's just that sense of not being with friends, not being able to do the things we want to do, whether it's sport or going out and socialising or meeting up with other people, and that just pulls our mood down a bit. And then the result of all of that is we just think, oh, do you know what, I can't be bothered, or I'll do it later. And then we end up not being fed. We end up not hearing the Bible taught. We end up not praying. We end up not hearing God speaking because we never spend any time with him. We just think, oh, do you know what, it's too much hassle to go out to an evening service tonight, and I hate wearing the mask, so I'm not going to bother going to church. I don't know anybody who likes wearing the mask. But Jesus says, seek his kingdom first. Are you doing that? Or have you put God on the back burner? Are you making the effort to spend time with him yourself? Are you making the effort to watch the online services? I know it's not the same. Are you making the effort to do things that maybe you don't like or you don't feel comfortable with, but at least you'll be getting fed and you'll be seeing other Christians and seeing other people? Now it's easy, isn't it, just to think, oh, I can't be bothered, I feel rubbish, I feel down, everything's going wrong. But Jesus says, look how I care for the world around us. And the grass of the field, as he says, that's just going to be harvested and chucked into the fire. And yet I make it grow and I make it flower. I provide the sun and the rain and the nutrients in the soil. How much more important are we to God than a bit of grass? And how much more is he going to look after us? So let's make a renewed effort today to seek first his kingdom. And then Jesus promises, and these things will be given to you as well. God's on our side. God's looking after us. God's with us in all of this. We need to turn to him and trust him. I hope you have a really great rest of your day.